Hello, friends. A very good evening, and welcome to my session today on accounting standards and Indian accounting standards, forming part of the CA Foundation syllabus. I welcome you to Unacademy, India's largest online learning platform, which opens your gateways to a wide world of courses, resources, and uh, content which an academy has to offer to you in terms of various preparation for various examinations and various of the topics of your interest. So I am currently a part. Hi Makadar, hi Alexi, how are you? Nice to see you. Hi, thanks for joining in. Okay, so today, Unacademy provides you a very good platform. Good evening, a platform through which you can make use of all these resources and contents at your convenience. Hi Makadar. Okay, so I request you to make use of it and take advantage of this opportunity. So let's crack CA with us is a vertical of Chartered Accountancy Foundation, Intermediate and Final course that an academy has started, where they help you or they provide knowledge in on various subjects and topics pertaining to the CA Foundation and Intermediate course through experienced and expert educators in the field. I am part of the CA Foundation and Intermediate course. A little about the educator today. Hello, I'm Prathik Gupta. I am a Bachelor of Commerce from Christ College, Bangalore University. I am an associate member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. I am an associate member of the Institute of Company Secretaries of India and also an associate member of the Institute of Cost Accountants of India. Along with this, I am also a law graduate from Karnataka State Law University and currently a practicing chartered accountant and also a tutor for CA students both offline and online. Prior to starting my own practice, I worked with SR Bartley Boy and Associates, that is an Indian member firm of Ernst & Young Global in the audit and assurance department. Post that, I worked with EY, Ernst & Young India, in the mergers and acquisition department. And then I worked with the Manipal Group as a corporate controller of their Indian and German entity. Post that, I came back and I started my own firm. So before I proceed, am I audible and am I visible? Can people see me and hear me clearly? I request the participants to respond and let me know if I'm audible and visible. Yes. Hi Rajesh, thanks for joining in. Welcome to the session. Thanks Makadar. Hi Aryan, nice to see you back. Thanks for joining into my session. Alexi, Makadar, thanks for your response. Rajesh, hi. For those of you who have not yet followed me on the Unacademy app, I request you to go to the Unacademy app and go to my profile and click on the follow button, after which you will get live updates and notifications of my sessions, the timings and topics, and whenever they come, so that you can reach in time for my sessions. I would love to see you in my sessions time and time again. Hi Aryan, I'm good. How are you doing? I hope you're fine. I hope you're having a good day. All right, so can we proceed? So this is a little bit about the educator today, a brief profile about the educator. Let's proceed. So what do you get when you subscribe to the Plus platform on Unacademy? You get daily live classes where you get to choose the educator of your choice, the topic of your choice, and not only listen to the live sessions, you also get time, you get an opportunity to participate and clear your doubts on a one-on-one basis, in a real-time basis, and also discuss on various topics of your interest with your educator. There is no restriction and there is no timing within which you need to ask your questions or doubts. You can ask them as and when they arise, and you do not have to wait for a future date. That is an advantage of the Unacademy Plus platform. And then the Unacademy Plus platform provides various tests and quizzes which help you evaluate your performance and identify your weak areas and your strong areas. Your weak areas so that you can spend more time on them, and strong areas so that you can spend less time on that and compensate that time on your weak areas. So these live tests and quizzes help you and prepare you. It also gives you a feel of how the exams might be and how you need to answer your examinations. The courses provided by the Plus platform on Unacademy are structured. I say structured in a sense that they help you go step by step in your preparation towards your goal, and to the maximum extent possible, they help you cover the entire topic comprehensively and completely. And lastly, and most importantly, they give you unlimited access. The Unacademy Plus platform gives you unlimited access to its world of content, courses, and resources that it has. You can access any content at any point of time, any educator, any topic. And the best part is you can access all this at your convenience at any time you want. Maybe you're having a busy day, or maybe you're attending classes, and this thing you can come back and then again refresh yourself and go through the classes as per your convenience. There are no deadline timings, or there are no brackets given to you that this is available only from 10 in the morning to 8 p.m. You can access the information there 24/7. So I encourage you to become part of the Unacademy Plus program as soon as possible, because it will help you in your examination preparation. For the people who have not yet downloaded the Unacademy Learning app, I request you to download the Unacademy Learning app from your Play Store. It's quite simple. You need to enter your mobile number. You get an OTP on your mobile number, which you need to enter and register yourself on the Unacademy Learning app. So do it as soon as possible, because once you do that, your gateways are open to the wide world of courses and resources of Unacademy right in your mobile. So you can carry it wherever you want. You can access it on the go, when you're on the move, when you're maybe in a bus, or maybe when you're sitting in a cab. You can access the information whenever you can, or maybe in between meetings, or in between other work, you get some time, you can access your lectures then and there. So it gives you a preparation opportunity on a real-time basis. For the people who are already on the Unacademy Learning app, I thank you, and I request you to extend your continued support. All right. Now, the Unacademy Plus platform has various subscription packages. I am part of the CA Foundation and Intermediate subscription. The subscription packages for the intermediate CA and Foundation subscription package are as follows. The packages provided are for hi Anushka Jain, thanks for joining in. Welcome to my session. The packages provided are for 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, and 24 months. The rates of the packages are given to you on your screen. While you may make a choice of the package that you want, I will strongly recommend you to go for the 12 months or the 24 months package, simply because it is cost efficient. And secondly, for any competitive exam you need to prepare, and especially for the CA Foundation and Intermediate, you need to prepare for at least for 12 months to 1 year. So I request you to go for that 12 months or 24 months package, and do not forget to use the code Prathik, Prathik, when you choose your subscription, to get a discount of 10% on your subscription price. Please go through the following subscription packages and make your choice. And I look forward to seeing you as part of the Plus family very soon. Okay, so what are we going to talk about today? In today's session, we are going to have a brief discussion about what do you mean by accounting standards and Indian accounting standards. How many of you have heard of the term accounting standards? I'm sorry, I'm having a bad throat. How many of you have heard of the term accounting standards? Anyone? Anushka Jain, what about you? Have you heard of the term accounting standards? Can you tell me what accounting standards is? Aryan, Makaddar, Alexi? Okay, accounting standards are very important. Hi, Ritija. Welcome to the session. Hello, Mr. Shushila. How are you? Thank you for joining my session. Welcome to my session. All right. So now the discussion we are going to have today is about accounting standards and also Indian accounting standards. Yes, Anushka Jain, standards of accounting. Can you explain a little bit more on that? What do you mean by standards on accounting? Because accounting standards and standards of accounting are not much different. Can you explain what have you heard of accounting standards? If you can give me an answer. No idea, Alexi? Okay, no problem. I will explain it to you. Let the others reply. Let Anushka Jain reply. Let Makaddar reply. Let Aryan reply. Have you heard of the term accounting standards? Anushka is a regular, also a regular participant to my sessions, and she has been following the sessions on company law and accountancy pretty closely. So. Okay, so while Makaddar, I think it is a rule of accounting. You're close, Makaddar. Okay, while Anushka and the others are still typing their answers, let me proceed with what do you mean by accounting standards and Indian accounting standards? Let's start off with what accounting standards mean. Like the name says, these are standards. Standards mean, hi Jyoti, thanks for joining in my session. Welcome to my session. Standards means something that is minimally required to be done. Once you set a standard to a particular level, please remember, then whatever is in above that standard or minimum that standard has to be maintained. So that is the meaning of just the term standard. Standard means the minimum requirements. More than that, it's fine, but the minimum standard that needs to be maintained is this. So if you include the term accounting standard in that, it means in terms of accounting, or when you prepare your accounting reports, your balance sheet, P&L. So these are the minimum standards that you need to follow, or the minimum disclosures that you need to give when you're preparing your financial statements. Hi Jyoti. Okay, yes Jyoti, any question? Anything you're confused about? Anything? All right. So let's start off with. Now, accounting standards deal with the issues of. Now, in my previous session, I have dealt with accounting concepts, principle, conventions. All right. Hi Piyush. Thanks for joining in my session. Welcome to my session. And as I keep mentioning, the people who have not yet followed my profile on the Unacademy app, I request you to go to the Unacademy app, go to my profile and click on the follow button so that you get real-time notifications of my classes and what the timings and topics are, so that you can reach my class on time. Nonetheless, I still welcome you and thank Piyush for joining in. Hi, good evening. Okay, so what are the accounting standards deal with? Accounting standard deals with issues of recognition of events and transactions, measurement of transactions and events, presentation of transactions and events, and disclosure requirements. Like I told you, accounting standards are the minimum standards that need to be maintained, or the minimum disclosures or treatments that need to be maintained when someone is dealing with or accounting. Hi, Cricket Tech. Thanks for joining in. Welcome to my session. Okay, so we will deal with what those accounting standards are. There are about 29 accounting standards. I will explain each of them in brief to you. Okay, but right now you just need to understand as to what is the whole purpose of accounting standards. Like in my last class, I spoke about accounting concepts and principles, right? So the whole objective of concepts and principles was to bring uniformity in the accounting data or reports that are prepared by various entities in India or abroad, world over, right? Because no one would like to compare or look at different financial statements. They as much as they are uniform, the better it is. To the maximum extent they are uniform, the better it is. So all these efforts of bringing in a lot of principles, conventions, concepts, accounting standards, everything is to bring uniformity. Because please remember, if two entities prepare prepare a balance sheet and P&L in two different formats, then your comparison becomes difficult, and then you don't even know what is the minimum data that needs to be displayed by each of those entities. Now, to ensure that all the organizations provide a bare minimum of uniform data, accounting standards come into the picture. Now, accounting standards not only deal with disclosing particular data, but it also deals with the treatment and recognition of certain items. Where there is a vagueness or where there is a confusion, there is an accounting standard on that. Like, for example, I told you accounting standard 3 deals with cash flow statements. So that accounting standard clearly says to which companies or to which class of companies preparation of cash flow is required. And if a cash flow is mandatory to a particular kind of a company, what are the minimum requirements or what are the various methods that a cash flow statement can be prepared. And any company which fulfills the conditions of AS3 will have to prepare a cash flow statement as per AS3 with the minimum requirements provided there. Hi Mansi Tiwari, thanks for joining in. Welcome to my session. Okay, so recognition of events and transactions, measurement of transactions and events, presentation of transaction and events, and disclosure requirements. I will be talking about these as and when I move on with the slides. Okay, formulation of accounting standards. Now let's briefly explain to you as to how do accounting standards come into existence. Yes, of course, there is a body which creates them, but it is just not created one fine day. You know that one day you get up and you say tomorrow we have a new accounting standard. The reason that till date we've been able to have just 29 accounting standards is because of the requirement. When the requirement arises, then the people sit on it and they brainstorm and they use their head and they come up with a solution in the form of an accounting standard. So what are the various steps in the formation of an accounting standard? First is identification of area. Hi Shinchan, thanks for joining in. Welcome to my session. Hi Bhavik, thanks for joining in. Welcome to my session. If for Shinchan, Mansi, and Bhavik, if you've not yet followed my profile on Unacademy app, I request you to go to the Unacademy app and follow my profile so that you get real-time notifications about my sessions, the timings and the topics, so that you can reach on time. But nonetheless, thank you for making it and welcome to my session. All right, so now first one is identification of area. Like I said, when there is a requirement, only then an accounting standard will be prepared. Without the requirement, there is no need to make an accounting standard. So let's say today, if the business organizations or community is facing a problem of dealing with a particular matter, or the tax authorities or the government authorities are dealing with a problem that when the companies and businessmen provide their returns, the particular data is not being displayed or provided. In both these cases, hi Samruddhi, thanks for joining in. Welcome to my session. So when data is provided, they are not very happy, or the authorities think that more data should be provided. In both these cases, when there is a problem or when the authorities want more information, then in that case, there is a need that arises for accounting standards to come into the picture. So then first is the identification of the area of the need. Then there is a constitution of a study group. Then normally the accounting standards are issued by the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. So then the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India constitutes a study group of experts in that particular area and also senior people who study and brainstorm about the requirement and about the problem and then try to get a solution to it. Preparation of draft and its circulation, then the whole study group, based on its experience, discussions, brainstorming, and everything, prepares a draft solution to it, a draft accounting standard of the solution, and circulates it among all its members. Hi Piyush, yeah. Sir, I know that it's an English session, but use Hindi also, so that students can understand more clearly. It's only a request. All right, do all the students also want me to do that? Do you want me to be in English only or English and Hindi? I can speak Hindi as well. What do the other students want? Mansi says both. What about the others? Alexi, others? Okay, Shinchan says not a problem. Thank you. What about the others? Okay, now, like I told you in the beginning, this is an English session, but because the participants have requested me, I will be using a little bit of Hindi and a little bit of English, or maybe I will speak to you in both. ठीक है, तो आशा करता हूं कि ऐसे करने से आपको कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं होगी और हम हिंदी इंग्लिश दोनों का प्रयोग करेंगे. पीयूष, इज दैट फाइन? मानसी, एलेक्सी, ठीक है वो? All right, sure. I mean, like I told you, मैंने जैसे आपसे कहा था कि हम वो सब करना चाहेंगे जिससे आपको सबसे ज्यादा मदद मिले, और अगर आपको लगता है कि हिंदी और इंग्लिश बोलना चाहिए, हम वो भी कर लेंगे आपके लिए, as long as you understand things and as long as you can follow things. All right. So the third point was preparation of draft. तो the study group जो बनी है, the study group that's made, वो एक ड्राफ्ट बना देते हैं और उस ड्राफ्ट को अपने आपस में सर्कुलेट करते हैं फॉर कमेंट्स एंड डिस्कशंस. ऑलराइट, फॉर द सीनियर लोग जो होते हैं, so they are supposed to comment, give their objections, give their acceptance to the draft. So once all that is done, in case there is acceptance, then it's good. But अगर acceptance नहीं है, then they need, if anyone has raised objections or anyone has told them कि ये modify करो, वो modify करो, then in that case those modifications are discussed and those modifications are made. Then Dipayan, hi, thanks for attending my session. Welcome. Ascertainment of views of different bodies on draft. फिर once the brainstorming is done, once the draft is circulated, all the business bodies are sent the draft, उनके opinions जानने के लिए. The business bodies who are facing the problem or the government who has a problem with it shares their opinion. They give their opinion on the draft, and then again there is the finalization of the draft. of the exposure draft. Okay, exposure draft simply means. Hi Manaswini, yes, I know. So what would you want me to do? Should I continue the whole session in English only? This is meant to be an English session, yes. Okay, Piyush, there is a request to continue in English as it is an English session. So can we also respect the presence of other people with other languages and also continue in English as a neutral language? Yes, what do the participants say? Okay, so let's continue with English. Piyush, in case you have any doubts, please ask me and I will repeat and I will make you understand in Hindi if there is any doubt. Same with Mansi, don't worry about it. In case you have any doubts, please ask me. मैं आपको हिंदी में समझा दूंगा. All right. So then there is the finalization of the exposure draft. The first draft is circulated among the members and the senior people for their comments and objections and views. And then after that, after getting the views and making necessary changes, the draft is sent to the different bodies. That may be your income tax authority or other regulation authority, government, or your business associations for their views. And again, their comments or views or their objections. Once you get those objections and views also, then all those changes are incorporated in that particular accounting standard. And then there is a finalization of exposure draft. That means an accounting standard comes into existence, and then it is given to the members of the industry of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India for their final views, and said that, okay, this is the first exposure draft and you're given 30 days. Please go through the entire accounting standard and let me know if you have any other objections or views on that. So once the time is once the time given is, like, for example, 1 month, and there are comments received from professional bodies and other business bodies, appropriate changes are made in the accounting standard, and then the draft is modified, and then the final accounting standard comes into existence. Whenever a final accounting standard comes into existence, there is a particular date that is mentioned that it is applicable from so and so date, and then that accounting standard becomes applicable for that. Each and every accounting standard will also say to what class of companies they are applicable. Okay, clear so far? Any questions? Any questions? Piyush, you're there? Mansi, you're there? All right, Mansi, any questions, please ask me. I will explain it to you. Don't worry about it. Piyush, any questions? Is Piyush there? Okay, no problem. All right, so then introduction to accounting standards. All right, Mansi, don't worry. Thank you so much. Okay, now accounting as a language of business communicates the financial results of an enterprise to various stakeholders by means of financial statements. It is, if the financial accounting process is not properly regulated, there is a possibility of financial statements being misleading, tendentious, and providing a distorted picture of the business rather than a true one. To ensure transparency, consistency, comparability, adequacy, and reliability of financial reporting, it is essential to standardize the accounting principles and policies. Accounting standards provide framework and standard accounting policies for treatment of transactions and events so that the financial statements of different enterprises become comparable. Like I told you in the beginning, please remember, if every company starts preparing different financial statements or starts following different rules for different financial statements, then the whole purpose of comparison, let's say you are a paper manufacturing company, all right, and your results for this year were not very good, and you want to see what your competitor is doing. or how were his results, so that you can find out if his results were bad as well, then maybe you can conclude that okay, the industry is going through a rough time. But if his results were very good and your results were bad, in that case you need to worry about it. There is something you need to worry about. Then if this is possible only if both of you, that is your company and the competitor company, follow the same set of principles, rules and regulations and standards. For this purpose, the accounting standards. Hi Ekta, thanks for joining in. Welcome to my session. Trust you're well. So for this purpose, to avoid a discrepancy in the financial statements and bring uniformity in the preparation of financial statements, accounting standards were introduced so that all companies, whether it's your paper manufacturing company or your competitor's paper manufacturing company, you follow the same rules and regulations, and to the maximum extent possible, you provide the same financial statements. Please take 30 seconds, read the slide, and then we will continue. Ask me if you have any questions. Okay, any questions? Okay, now what are the objectives of accounting standards? The whole idea of accounting standards. Hi Bharat Ghai, thanks for joining in. Welcome to my session. Hi Gunjan Gupta, Gungun Gupta, sorry, pardon me. Welcome to my session. Thanks for joining in. Mansi, yes, if they are not following the same rules, then unable to find out the error. Exactly. See, if you are treating, let's take for example inventories. Okay, inventories means stock. If you have stock of finished goods, so according to the accounting standards, the finished goods are to be valued at cost or net realizable value, whichever is lower. Okay, so the cost means the cost of procuring the stock. Net realizable value simply means if you go to sell that stock to someone else, what amount they are willing to pay you is the net realizable value. So whichever is lower, you will always value your closing stock at that price, and that is contained in AS2, Accounting Standard 2, inventories. Okay, now just imagine if AS2 was not present, then people will value their closing stock at whatever price they want. Some will value it at net realizable value, some will some will value it at cost, some will again value it at some other market price. In that case, please remember, if your closing stock value is changed, your profit and loss account will also change, right? Because if your closing stock value increases, your profit increases. If your closing stock value is reduced, your profit reduces. So a company can very well play with it. So in order to bring uniformity as to how closing stock should be valued, Accounting Standard 2 was introduced, which clearly says closing stock should be valued at cost or net realizable value, whichever is lower. बहुत बढ़िया बात गुनगुन. I'm very impressed and I'm very inspired that you're in class 8 और आपको CA बनना है. आपको CA क्यों बनना है? अभी से आप CA के बारे में क्यों सोच रहे हैं? क्लास 8 में है, बताइए गुनगुन. I mean, when I was in class 8, I did not think about CA. I started thinking about becoming a CA only maybe by class 10 or class 9. But what is making you think about becoming a CA? It's very good that you're doing so. But what is the whole motivation? Gungun? No, Alexi, what are you thinking? I mean, it's a very good thing that she wants to become a CA from a young age. It's good. Hi, Bhupendra Maheshwari. Thanks for joining in. Welcome to my session. All right, that's nice. I decided when I was in my class 9th or 10th that I wanted to do my CA. But Gungun is already in the 8th and she's already attending a class towards CA Foundation and Intermediate. That's impressive. Gungun, I wish you all the very best, and I hope you reach your goal very soon. Because I like CA job. Okay, what do CAs do normally, Gungun, according to you? I'm asking you this because you're still in class 8. So I just want to understand what, according to you, CAs do. Okay, Gungun, great job. I mean, I'm very happy and impressed with you. All the best to you. Okay, and I look forward to you coming to my sessions more often. Um, CA do commerce. Yes, CA have to take up commerce. If you plan to do your CA, then after your 10th, in your 11th and 12th, you need to take commerce. And then, but even if you do take up science, you can still do CA, but there will be some extra effort in terms of learning commerce and accounts. But if you are very clear and you've already decided you want to do your CA, then yes, please take commerce after your 10th so that you can take up your BCom and then start off your CA as well. Okay? All right. So, what are the objectives of accounting standards? The whole idea of accounting standards is centered around harmonization of accounting policies and practices followed by different business entities, so that the diverse accounting practices adopted for various aspects of accounting can be standardized. Accounting standards standardize diverse accounting policies with a view to eliminate the non-comparability of financial statements and thereby improving the reliability of financial statements. Like I have been discussing so far, the whole objectives of accounting standards is to eliminate non-comparability and to bring uniformity in the financial statements as much as possible. Because if the financial statements are comparable, are uniform, then effective conclusions can be drawn. Otherwise, it is no use, right? Comparing two different things. You cannot compare an apple with an orange. You need to compare an apple with an apple, right? If you are comparing with an apple with a watermelon and saying, no, an apple is too small, a watermelon is huge, I mean, it's wrong. Watermelons are meant to be that way. An apple has different qualities, a watermelon has different qualities. So you always need to compare an apple with an apple and not an apple with an orange. All right. Hi, Sneha Gupta. Thanks for joining in. Welcome to my session. So, firstly, accounting standards eliminate the non-comparability of financial statements and thereby improving the reliability of financial statements. Secondly, they provide a set of standard accounting policies, valuation norms, and disclosure requirements. Like I told you, accounting standards can be used for treatment of a particular event, for recognition of a particular event, or mere disclosures. Each accounting standard, when we go through them in detail, will also tell you in your notes to accounts or your balance sheet what disclosure requirements should be there. When I say disclosure requirements means what the details should be provided by the preparer of that financial statement. So accounting standard talks about disclosure requirements as also about treatment of certain items. Are we clear? Any questions so far? Any questions? Please ask. I hope so too, Gungun. Thank you. I mean, very impressive. In case you ever need any advice, I would be more than happy to help you out. Hi, Mithilesh Kumar. Thanks for joining in. Welcome to my session. Okay. Accounting standards reduce the accounting alternatives in the preparation of financial statements within the bounds of rationality, thereby ensuring comparability of financial statements of different enterprises. Hi. Okay. So, like I've been repeating, they bring uniformity and comparability between financial statements of different segments, and so that you can compare, analyze, interpret, and take correct decisions. Okay. Please take 30 seconds and read the slide, and then we proceed. Hi Divya, thanks for joining in. Welcome to my session. Again, I repeat, people who have not followed my profile on the Unacademy app, I request you to go to the app, go to my profile and click on the follow button to get real-time notifications of my classes, the topics and the timings of the classes so that you don't miss them and can attend the sessions on time. But anyway, the people who have joined in late, thank you so much for still joining in. Welcome to my session. Can we proceed? Okay. Hi Harsh, thanks for joining in. Welcome to my session. Benefits and limitations of accounting standards. Standards reduced to a reasonable extent. Yes, Alexi, definitely you can take screenshots of the slide. Most welcome. Or I think even the PDF is available to you if I'm not mistaken, right? Whatever presentation I have put up. But you can take the screenshots of the slides, no problem. Do you want me to go back to the previous slide, Alexi? Okay, this one. If you've taken the screenshot, can we proceed? Okay. Now, what are the benefits and limitations of accounting standards? First one, accounting standards reduce to a reasonable extent or eliminate altogether confusing variations in the accounting treatment used to prepare financial statements. Like I have been saying time and time again, accounting standards are intended to bring uniformity in the financial statement. So obviously, if they bring uniformity, they reduce the variations in the various accounting standards. So which helps in comparability, interpretation, and decision making. There are certain areas where important information are not statutorily required. Hi Anmol Jain, thanks for joining in. Hi Shruti Mishra, thanks for joining in. Welcome to my session. Okay, there are certain areas where important information are not statutorily required to be disclosed. Standards may call for disclosure beyond requirement of law. Now, this is the limitations of accounting standards. There might be, law might require you to disclose only A and B. But there are times when the accounting standards require you to disclose C and D as well, as an additional disclosure or as additional practice. So in that case, it can become a little tedious and it can become a little time consuming for you to provide additional disclosures. Hi Anmol. Okay. So that is one of the drawbacks of accounting standards. Third one, the application of accounting standards would, to a limited extent, facilitate the comparison of financial statements of companies situated in different parts of the world and also of different companies situated in the same country. Now, remember, if all the companies in India follow accounting standards, that means to a large extent, all the financial statements of all the companies in India can be comparable. Maybe not 100%, but maybe 90 to 95% comparable. So that again is a benefit of accounting standards, because in India, if the company is in India and it's preparing its balance sheet and profit and loss account, then it is in a comparable state because they would have followed the accounting standards and the principles and concepts laid down in accounting. Take 30 seconds, go through the slide, and then we will continue. Any questions, please ask me. And do not forget to follow my profile on the Unacademy app. Hi Rani, thanks for joining in. Welcome to my session. Take about 30 seconds, read that, and ask me if you have any questions. Any questions? Alexi, any questions? Rani, any questions? You just joined in. Thanks, Rutija, for the response. Okay, now process of formulation of accounting standards in India. Let's quickly recollect the process, what we saw in the second slide. The standard setting procedure for accounting standards board can be briefly as follows. There is an accounting standards board which formulates principles or accounting standards in India. Identification of broad areas by accounting standard board for formulation of AS. Like I told you, there has to be a requirement, and unless there is a requirement, there can be no accounting standard for the same. The constitution of study groups by accounting standard board to consider the specific projects and to prepare preliminary drafts of the proposed accounting standards. The draft normally includes objective and scope of the standard, definition of the terms used in the standard, recognition and measurement principles wherever applicable, and the presentation and disclosure requirements. Like I told you, there is a study group that is created, and the study group creates a draft. Consideration of the preliminary draft by the study group of ASB and revision, if any, of the draft on basis of deliberations. Like I told you, then the entire team talks about any objections, any changes. Then once the conclusion is reached, they make those changes. Meeting with the representatives of the specified outside bodies to ascertain. Hi Hamad Hussain, thanks for joining in. Welcome to my session. Once the meeting with the representative of the specified outside bodies to ascertain their views on the draft of the proposed accounting standard. So whichever body will be most affected by those accounting standards or require those accounting standards will be met with, and their views will be taken. Then the accounting standard will be finalized. Then the exposure draft of the accounting standard will be finalized, and its issuance inviting public comments. Like I told you, there will be about 30 days given, 30 or 60 days given to the public to provide their comments of agreement or disagreement. Gungun, I will let you know which book to take in due course, but right now you pay attention of what's happening in class. Consideration and comments received on the exposure draft and finalization of the draft accounting standards by the Accounting Standards Board for submission to the Council of the ICAI. ICAI stands for Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, for its consideration and approval for issuance. Consideration of the final draft of the proposed standard and by the Council of India, and if found necessary, modification on the draft constitution with ASB is done based on all the comments and everything received from the various interested bodies. Then there are changes made in the accounting standard, and then the draft is finalized. The accounting standard on the relevant subject for non-corporate entities is then issued by the ICAI. For corporate entities, the accounting standards are issued by the central government of India. So if there is any accounting standard for a non-corporate, that means a non-company, it is done by ICAI. But if it is for a company, it is done by the central government of India. Please take about 30 seconds, go through the slide, and then we proceed. Any questions, please ask. Okay, now, as the heading of the next slide says, the need for convergence towards global standards. Now, for people who have attended my previous session on accounting principles policies, you would have got an idea about what this is, but I will explain it again. Now, please remember, every country or most of the countries have their own accounting principles and policies, and this is called GAAP, GAAP, Generally Accepted Accounting Principles. Okay. Similarly, yes, Gungun, what's your question? Yes, Gungun, I'm waiting for your question. I hope you're typing it. What's the question? Okay, while we wait for Gungun's question, let me proceed. Now, please remember, every country or most of the countries, yes, when does CA Foundation start? CA Foundation starts after your 12th. You can enroll for the CA Foundation after your 12th standard. That means your second PUC, yes. Or if you want to avoid of CA Foundation, you can finish your graduation and take direct entry in the intermediate course. But if you want to save a couple of years, I will say to take up foundation after your 12th, along with your first year of BCom or whatever graduation course you decide to take. Okay? Gungun? All right. So now, like I was saying, every country or almost every country have their own generally accepted accounting principles called GAAP. Similarly, there is something called IGAP, which is Indian GAAP, Indian generally accepted accounting principles. Similarly, there is US GAAP. Similarly, there is German GAAP. Similarly, there is UK GAAP. So every country have their own generally accepted accounting principles. So they might be having their own accounting standards as well. So then, now within India, if any company has to compare the financial statements, then it is okay because the entire India accounting standards and the other principles are the same. But what happens if you want to compare the financial statements of another country? Like for example, India, the financial year is 1st April 2019 to 31st March 2020. But in the US, I think it is from 1st Jan to 31st December. It is a calendar year. So then the comparison can be different, right? One place you are having a calendar year and one place you are having a financial year. This is just one of the differences. Then as per the US GAAP, there might be inventory might be treated in a particular way. but in India, the inventory might be treated in a particular way. So this can create a lot of problems and confusions when you are comparing financial statements from different countries. To avoid this, now the countries, the global accounting bodies have decided to come up with the divergence or convergence towards global standards to bring one standard which is applicable to the entire world. Okay, and those are international financial reporting standards. Those are quite complex, and slowly India is also moving towards IFRS. And in pursuit of that, India has already framed its IND accounting standards, which are in line with IFRS, and those are slowly being step by step implemented in India. We will be discussing that in the further slides. But this is just a gist of what it is. So please take 30 seconds, read the slide, and see if what I told to you makes sense. Please ask me any questions you have. Any questions? Anyone, any questions? Please ask. Take about 30 seconds more, go through the slide. Thank you so much, Gungun. Thanks for your appreciation. Very sweet of you. Thank you. I request you to follow my profile on the app so that you continue to get notifications about my sessions. Hi, Payal Arora. Thanks for joining in. Welcome to my session. All right, let's continue. Now, what are the benefits of convergence with IFRS? Now, if the entire global accounting gets converged with IFRS, what are the benefits? First one, what are the benefits to the economy? When the market expands globally, the need for convergence increases since the convergence benefits the economy by increasing growth of its international business. It facilitates maintenance of orderly and efficient capital market and also helps to increase the capital formation and thereby economic growth. It encourages international investing and thereby leads to more foreign capital flows to the country. Now, if there is an IFRS, that is, more and more countries use the same accounting standards or same principles, it eventually will help the economy in terms of more capital coming into their country. And if more capital comes into a particular country, it means there is growth and development. Okay, investors. A strong case for convergence can be made from the viewpoint of the investors who wished. Hi, Sri Surya. Thanks for joining in. Welcome to my session. Yes, Gunjan. What's the question? Well, yes, Gun. What's the question? Okay, now for investors, a strong case for convergence can be made from the viewpoint of investors who wish to invest outside their country. Investors want the formation that is relevant, reliable, timely, and comparable across the jurisdiction. Now, let's say you are an investor. You buy shares of or you invest money in different companies. So in India, you are doing it's fine because the accounting standards and all the principles are the same. But what if you want to invest money in a different country? If you suddenly think there is a company in US and you want to invest in that. So if the financial statements of the US and India was comparable or uniform, the investor would be more comfortable in investing there because then the results and everything will be well understood by him. It's not IFRS, Gungun, it is IFRS. IFRS means International Financial Reporting Standards, Gungun. So IFRS, okay, International Financial Reporting Standards. Like how we have accounting standards in India, these are International Financial Reporting Standards, and a lot of countries have already started following this. Hi, Shushma. Thanks for joining in. Welcome to my session. Thanks, Rutija. Thanks for the feedback. I appreciate it. And I look forward to your continued support in attending my sessions as well. Thank you so much. The industry. The major force on the movement towards convergence has been the interest of the industry. The industry is able to raise capital from foreign markets at low cost if they can create confidence in the minds of foreign investors about that their financial statements comply with global accounting standards. Now, the industry means the companies. So far, we spoke about the economy, we spoke about the investors. Now, what about the companies? Even the companies at times or a lot of times raise capital abroad or from a different country because the rate of interest is low. So if the financial statement requirements of that country from where you're borrowing and your country are uniform to a large extent, then the industry or the person also gets confidence in his borrowing that they are reading and accepting the same terms. Please take 30 seconds, read the slide, and ask me if you have any questions. I have just explained this to you. Thank you, Alexi. Thank you for the compliment. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Please continue to support me and be a part of my sessions. Thank you so much. Now, the development in Indian accounting standards. Like I told you, IFRS is Indian International Financial Reporting Standards aim to bring uniformity in all the accounting policies and procedures across the globe. So, as a first step towards that, like I told you, there is the Indian accounting standards. Gungun, my name is Prathik Gupta. Yes, so we share the same surname. Yes. Okay. So development in Indian accounting standards is the first step towards convergence of IFRS. The Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, being the accounting standard setting body in India, way back in 2006, initiated the process of moving towards the International Financial Reporting Standards issued by the International Accounting Standards Board with a view to enhance acceptability and transparency of the financial information communicated by the Indian corporate through their financial statements. This move towards IFRS was subsequently accepted by the government of India. So, in 2006 itself, the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India took the step towards convergence towards IFRS and started talking and setting goals about it, and also started talking about the Indian accounting standards, which are also called as INDAS. Okay, so AS will simply mean accounting standards, and INDAS will mean Indian accounting standards, which are in line with the IFRS. What are Indian accounting standards? Indian accounting standards are the international financial reporting standards, converged standards issued by the central government of India under the supervision and control of the Accounting Standards Board of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, and in consultation with the National Advisory Committee on Accounting Standards. So, like I said, the Indian accounting standard or INDAS was the first step towards India's convergence or move towards IFRS, and keeping IFRS in mind, these standards were prepared taking a cue or inspiration from the International Financial Reporting Standards, which are still in the process of implementation, and they are being implemented step by step. It's still in the process. Okay, Government of India commitment to IFRS converged this thing. Initially, INDAS was expected to be implemented from the year 2011. What, Alexi, what is done by the Big Fours? What is your question? I have been part of the Big Fours, right? I have worked with Ernst & Young. So what are you saying? Okay. Initially, INDAS was expected to be implemented from the year 2011. However, keeping in view the fact that certain issues, including tax issues, were still to be, thank you, Alexi, were still to be addressed, the Ministry of Corporate Affairs decided to postpone the date of implementation of INDAS. In July 2014, the Finance Minister of India, at that time, Shri Arun Jaitley, in his budget speech, announced an urgency to converge the existing accounting standards with international financial reporting standards through adoption of the new Indian accounting standards by companies. So, like the slide says, the whole idea and the intention was to converge them or start implementing them by 2011. But because of certain tax difficulties, it was postponed. Again, in 2014, the then Finance Minister, Mr. Arun Jaitley, expressed an urgency in implementing the Indian accounting standards. and like I said, they are still in the process of being implemented, and a few of them have been implemented, and it is being done in a stepwise and phased manner. Now, let's quickly go through the existing Indian any existing accounting standards that is present. Okay, we are not talking about INDAS, but just talking about the Indian accounting standards. So quickly, now there are 29 in total. AS1 means accounting standard 1. So the accounting standard 1 talks about disclosure of accounting policies. So whatever accounting policies and principles a company has followed in preparation of the financial statements have to be disclosed as per AS1. Hi, Cute. Thanks for joining in. Welcome to my session. I hope that's your real name, or if it's not, I would like to know your real name. All right. Thank you. Thanks for joining in. Okay. AS2 revised talks about valuation of inventories. Hi. That means how your closing stock of finished goods, work in progress, and traded goods need to be valued. That is dealt with in Accounting Standard 2. Accounting Standard 3 deals with cash flow statements as to which companies are required to prepare a cash flow statement, which companies are not required to prepare a cash flow statement. And if you are required to prepare a cash flow statement, as per what format? It is given in Accounting Standard 3. Accounting Standard 4 means contingencies and events occurring after the balance sheet date. I have spoken about what a contingent asset and contingent liability is in my previous session. Please go to the archive and look into it to understand what it is. AS5 deals with contingency and events occurs after the balance sheet date. No, there is a mistake here. It's the same thing. I will look into it. Then there is AS6, which is withdrawn pursuant to issuance of AS10 on property. So AS6 is no longer into existence. That has been replaced or absorbed into AS10. AS7 is accounting for construction contracts. Let's say real estate companies which have construction contracts. How to deal with the various items in a construction contract is dealt with by Accounting Standard 7. Accounting Standard 8 deals with accounting for research and development. If there is any company that is involved in R&D, that is a lot of research and development, how they should be accounting for the costs incurred on research and development is dealt with by Accounting Standard 8. Similarly, if you see the list, we have Accounting Standard 10 dealing with fixed assets, how to deal with fixed assets. We have Accounting Standard 11 dealing with effects of foreign exchange. When a company deals with another country, how to deal with foreign exchange changes. AS12 deals with accounting for government grants, where a lot of time when you start a new project, the government gives you grants. So how do you deal with them is dealt with by Accounting Standard 12. Accounting Standard 13 speaks about accounting for investments. Accounting Standard 14 talks about accounting for amalgamations. Amalgamation means when two or more companies join together to form one company, how the accounting treatment is to be done, how the disclosures are to be done are dealt with Accounting Standard 14. Accounting Standard 15 is employee benefits. That means when you pay salaries, bonuses, and other things to your employee, how to deal with them or how to disclose them in your financial statements is dealt with Accounting Standard 15. Then we have Accounting Standard 16, which deals with borrowing costs. When a company takes a loan from banking institutions or other people, the interest that is paid, how to deal with that, how to compute it, and how to disclose it is contained in AS16. AS17 talks about segment reporting. Let's say a company has different segments. By different segments, I mean, let's take, for example, Hindustan Unilever. It has shampoos segment, it has soap segment, it has car washing segment. So how each of your different segments have performed will be dealt by Accounting Standard 17. Accounting Standard 18 talks about related party transactions. That means the transactions between the company and other people who are related to the company is Accounting Standard 18. Accounting Standard 19 deals with leases. Leases means your rental. When you take a property on rent or you take it on lease, how do you treat and disclose it is contained in lease. Similarly, you have Accounting Standard 21, 20, and you have till 29. All right, so please remember each of them is a standard. It is very detailed. Okay, and once you start reading it, it will take a lot of time. But why I'm not explaining it to you or going into detail right now, because it is not applicable to you right now. So you just need to, hi Upendra, thanks for joining in, welcome to my session. So you just need to know what they are and maybe read an Accounting Standard 1, 2, and 3 if you need to get a better understanding. So with this, I would like to end today's session on accounting standards and Indian accounting standards, a brief introduction on them, and I hope you found it useful. When you make the subscription to the Unacademy plus program, that is a 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, and 24 months. Do not forget to use the code Prathik, Prathik, to get a discount of 10% on the subscription price. I would strongly recommend to you the 12-month and the 24-month package because it is cost effective and it will give you ample time to do your preparation. For the other people who have not yet followed my profile on the Unacademy app, I request you to go onto the Unacademy app, go to my profile and click on the follow button so that you get live updates about my classes, the topics and the timings for the same. It was a pleasure taking the session for you. You have been a great audience. Thank you, and I expect your continued support in future as well. Divya, आपने पूछा है सर आप क्लास कब स्टार्ट करते हो? It's as per the schedule. I fix my schedule, and the people who follow me on the app get my schedule. That sir is going to start class now. This thing, So if you have not followed my profile yet, Divya, I request you to follow my profile to get live updates about the timings of my class and the topics. I look forward to seeing all of you in my future sessions. Thank you so much. Thanks for your support and continue to support me and Unacademy. Thank you and take care and stay safe. Thank you.